defending fourth position against Michael van der Mark. It's Toprak Razgatlioglu who leads them through to the end of the first sector. Haslam, Rinaldi, Nazane with a great start, and Garrett Gerloff rounding out your top 10. Jonathan Ray wants to make this move early. He's done now in length for Ray to try and get the slipstream advantage on Toprak Razgatlioglu. He's going to have to be very bold into turn 8 if he wants to pass. Oglu goes wide. Razgatlioglu is wide. Jonathan Ray finds his way past as they come through turn 9. Tries almost to open up space. Ray tries to go the long way round. Thinks about trying it up the inside into turn 11. Now it's single file at the end of the third sector.
Jonathan Ray right there with Toprak trying to make a move into these last couple of corners.
Bit of a moment there for Toprak by the looks of it as well, coming through turns. Razgatlioglu early on, but Ray's about to have a problem on his hands, which is the Ducati power in towards turn 1. Scott Redding now for Scott Redding. That's enough for Jonathan Ray to come through, and Axel Bassani is also in the mix, looking to try and get on terms with this podium trio.
Slingshot down in towards turn 6. You can see Axel Bassani making the move down into 6 on Scott Redding. The last thing Redding needs is more riders around him.
Ray is forced to be on the brakes, and again Razgatlioglu's gone deep through turn 8, and again Jonathan Ray takes the lead. So
Razgatlioglu can make it stick through turn 10, but you can see early laps of the Superpole race we didn't see Razgatlioglu pushed like this. Was in the closing stages from Scott Redding. Redding needs to clear Axel Bassani.
Across the line in towards lap number 3. Redding looking to the inside into turn 1, but he's not close enough.
This is really key for Ray. He was able to open up enough of a gap between Kawasaki, but Toprak right now really able to latch on to the back of Jonathan Ray.
Saw here in 2019 from Alvaro Bautista, it is not easy if he can get on terms now with Razgatlioglu. Bassani kicking on, he's been brilliant all weekend, and he might do a favour to the reigning world champion. They come down advantage here from the number 54 Yamaha. He doesn't want to overcook it this time in towards turn 8. He's got to settle in behind Jonathan Ray, and that gap in towards turn 10. They're side by side again, the two race leaders, into the 10th turn on lap number 3. Toprak has got it stopped. Ray thought off by either of the two Ducati men behind.
Ray's going to be under pressure, but he needs to focus on Toprak as much as anything else, because he can afford
entertainment on the opening 2.5 laps. Jonathan Ray looking to recover now on Razgatlioglu, the race leader. He was 0.4 of a second faster than him on 1:38.587, but Ray is still menacing on his tail.
You can see Ray's able to hold a tighter line through 1 to try and give him that slingshot.
That's where Axel Bassani made his pass on Scott Redding for 3rd place. It's where he had a go on for 2nd position a lap ago. It's where he's going to have a go on lap number 4. Super stuff. And Redding also thinking about a move on Razgatlioglu, and Ray is going to lose 2 positions in Jonathan Ray.
Yeah, for Jonathan Ray, got pushed a little bit offline through 8 and 9 by Razgatlioglu making that move. That opens the door for Redding, and Vinny Redding's right there with Razgatlioglu, and he can keep all that pressure on in the Turkish rider.
Best thing that Jonathan Ray can do now is stick to the tail of Scott Redding. 6 and 7 in the Superpole race this morning and couldn't do so. Redding is closer than he's ever been in this race to the tail of Toprak Razgatlioglu. Capitaliser. Jonathan Ray has got his hands full here with Axel Bassani. Look at Redding's speed coming through turns 1 and 2. It's single file through 3 and 4 on. That might present an opportunity here to Scott Redding. Second advantage over Jonathan Ray.
And on the run down in towards turn 1, he's trying to do everything he can to answer back to Jonathan Ray. As it is right now, he's got 0.7 of a second.
Razgatlioglu bringing his pace back down to where it needs to be, just to make sure that he maintains his advantage to the likes of Bassani and Rinaldi behind. Fraction. So it is still Razgatlioglu defending 3rd place successfully. He's got 9/10 to Bassani. He's got 2 seconds.
Through this weekend, obviously the Superpole, it was only his 2nd time he's qualified on pole position, and he was able to obviously have that crash at the start. So there was definitely some contact with Toprak at some stage.
And I think there's been contact with Toprak at more than one stage of this race. That crash in race 1 means that if things stay as they are at present, he will be ruled out of contention ahead of the final round, despite the fact
Redding have cost him the chance of being able to take it to the final round.
Been able to pause all race long. Just a quick.
It was a full second faster than Locatelli last time around. That's brought that gap down to 1.5 seconds. We haven't talked too much about the riders a little bit further down. That's Leon Haslam just haven't been overtaken by his Honda teammate.
Yes, Bautista just through for 10th position. Meanwhile, up at the head of the
5th of a second on Jonathan Ray. Did that in sector 2. The gap now down to 0.5 second. 2.5 laps to go. Ray needs to make sure he's able to focus up and try
for sure. We saw how pumped up he was on the grid before he got underway, encouraging himself, and he's encouraged himself quite nicely because of
but the one thing for Ray is at least he'll feel that there's momentum going into that final race. You can see Toprak last time around pulled back 1/4 of a second on Ray. Rinaldi once again with his fastest lap of the race. Locatelli's answering back.
Off had closed the previous lap around. He'll have seen his pit board urging him to push on, and Locatelli has done exactly that. Responsinian round. Has Razgatlioglu got one final flourish in this race too?
I was going to say, this isn't done yet. Toprak is doing everything around Jonathan Ray to try and make a move into turn 8. We know that's his favourite overtaking opportunity. We also know down into this corner at turn 10, he'll have an opportunity.
When we see Toprak Razgatlioglu settle for the position he's got, the one thing he can't afford is to throw away 16 points here.
I don't think he can, to hold on to a better position than 3rd position. He brought the fight to Scott Redding beating Jonathan Ray in the early stages. He's just been a little bit eaten. Well, the one thing for Ray is he always tries to keep himself at the front as much as possible. We saw that all the way through his championship seasons, no problems. And over the course of the season, where they are in terms of their overall points, probably about right in the balance of performance, but we're going to go
race. Rinaldi is closing down Bassani at a huge rate of knots here. Picked up a quarter of a second last lap around. He's got the gap down between the two Ducati riders out there. The other Ducati, Scott Redding, is leading the way.
Yeah, Redding, he's just coming through the end of the back straight now, so he's half tenths of a second. You can see in the background that he's got a comfortable margin over Toprak. Further down the field, Garrett Gerloff's close to within about half a second of Lockett.
A little bit too far behind in towards the final two sectors. Turn 15 might be a last opportunity for either of those two, but again, Rinaldi trio as they enter the final sector for the final time. The 2021 Motul Argentinian round will Motul Argentinian round. His first victory since race 1 of the Catalunya round, round 9 of this 12 so far. It's Jonathan Ray who takes second after a bar-banging encounter over 21 laps throughout nose to tail at any stage in this race. What sensational entertainment. 30 points will be the championship deficit for Ray ahead of...
I tell you what, World SBK in 2020 just continues to deliver. This was a real battle all the way